The U.S. markets are closed for the weekend. As of the closing bell on Friday, November 7, 2025, Ondas Holdings, ticker ONDS, finished the session at $5.81 per share. But that single closing number tells you almost nothing. You have to understand what happened on Friday. The stock absolutely exploded, closing up 10.67%. This wasn't a gentle drift higher, it was a violent move on breathtaking volume. More than 106 million shares changed hands. To put that in perspective, its average volume is closer to 55 million. This wasn't just a few retail traders getting excited on the Robinhood app. This was a massive, seismic shift in perception, and it looks like institutional players are finally waking up to what's happening here. The stock gapped up from its previous close, opened at $5.04, dipped to $4.95, and then rocketed to a high of $5.89.5 before settling at that $5.81 close. This is the kind of price action that forces you to ask, what just happened? And here's the immediate insight, the piece you might have missed if you just saw the ticker flash by. This isn't a one-day story. This is the market reacting to a flurry of strategic, aggressive moves Ondas has made in just the last few weeks. The company is on an acquisition spree, and it's not buying junk. It's rolling up advanced, combat-proven technology that completely changes the narrative. Let's establish the common ground, the expectation. For a long time, the general belief about Ondas was that it was just another speculative small-cap tech company. Many investors, even those doing active self-investing, probably lumped it in with hundreds of other cash-burning drone companies, a show-me story that might get a contract someday. They'd look at the 52-week range, which bottoms out at a terrifying $0.57, and think it was just another volatile trading vehicle. The expectation was that this was a company built on concepts, not on concrete products. It was a stock for day traders, not for a serious investment. Now, let's talk about the reality, because it challenges that expectation completely. The reality is that Ondas isn't waiting for permission. It's moving right now to become a full-spectrum, AI-driven, autonomous defense and security provider. The someday story is happening this quarter. The trigger for Friday's buying frenzy was almost certainly the news from last Tuesday, November 4. Ondas is acquiring Sentrycs, a global leader in counter-UAS cyber technology. This isn't just another company that makes a drone, this is a company that makes technology to defeat enemy drones. Sentrycs uses a proprietary cyber-over-RF system that allows operators to detect, track, and most importantly, take control of hostile drones. It does this without jamming or spoofing, making it a detect-to-defeat solution that defense and security agencies are desperate for, especially for protecting critical infrastructure and urban areas. But that's just the latest move. On October 29th, Ondas acquired a controlling interest in Insight Intelligent Sensors. On October 27th, it acquired a controlling interest in 4M Defense, an Israeli company specializing in smart demining and advanced ground robotics. Do you see the pattern? Ondas is building a systems of systems architecture. They now have ground robotics from Apiro and 4M, autonomous aerial intelligence from their Optimus Drone in a Box system, and a top-tier counter-drone interceptor with the Iron Drone Raider. Now with Sentrycs, they add the cyber layer to defeat threats before they even get close. This is a complete ecosystem. This aggressive roll-up strategy is why that 106 million share volume print matters. This is the market repricing the company from a simple hardware maker to an integrated defense tech solutions provider. And there's another piece to this puzzle that the serious money, the people using Fidelity Wealth Management or running an individual brokerage account with precision, are looking at: the Palantir partnership. Ondas is leveraging Palantir's Foundry platform. This is critical. You can't just build drones and robots. You have to manage the data, streamline the operations, and build a supply chain that can scale to military-grade demand. Using Foundry is a massive stamp of approval. It signals to the Pentagon and other allied governments that Ondas is building its house on a foundation that can handle data security and massive logistical scale. This isn't a garage operation. They are building for prime time. So what does Ondas actually do? It's important to separate its two main business units. First, there's Ondas Networks. This is the legacy business. It provides private, mission-critical wireless connectivity, think industrial-grade Wi-Fi, for sectors like railroads, utilities, and oil and gas. This is a solid, necessary business, but it's not what has the market excited. All the explosive growth, all the headlines, all the volume, that's coming from its other unit, Ondas Autonomous Systems, or AAS. This is the umbrella for its acquisitions: American Robotics, Aerobotics, Apiro, 4M, and now Sentrycs. AAS is the division housing the Optimus system, which is importantly the first and only drone-in-a-box system to receive FAA certification for automated operation. That means it can operate without a human pilot on site. This is a huge moat. This is the tech that can provide 24/7 autonomous security for a power plant, a border, or a stadium. This isn't a simple investment help query. This is a complex industrial and defense technology play. Now, let's turn to the future outlook, because the next major checkpoint is just days away. Ondas is set to report its third quarter 2025 financial results this coming Thursday, November 13th, before the market opens. This is where expectation and reality will collide again. The consensus expectation is for a loss of about $0.05 per share, but that's a massive improvement from the $0.15 per share loss in the same quarter last year. More importantly, revenue is expected to be around $7.37 million, which would be a staggering 398% year-over-year. The analysts at Zacks have flagged this, giving ONDS a buy rating and noting a positive earnings ESP, which suggests a high probability of an earnings beat. But the actual numbers, the EPS and revenue, aren't even the main event. What investors at Fidelity, SoFi, and Interactive Brokers will be listening for on that conference call is the guidance. How are these new acquisitions being integrated? What is the initial revenue contribution from Sentrycs and 4M Defense, and what does the sales pipeline look like for the Iron Drone Raider and the Optimus system, especially with the Palantir partnership backing them? The focus is shifting from, are they losing cash, to how fast is this new high-margin revenue ramping up? This is the moment where management needs to prove that their aggressive acquisition strategy is translating into a cohesive, profitable business. This is what separates a company from a story. This kind of high-stakes analysis is a world away from simply parking funds in Fidelity mutual funds or Fidelity ETFs. It requires active online investing and a deep understanding of the catalysts. Of course, there are significant risks. This is not a stock for someone who just wants to dabble in investing sites. The stock is up over 700% in the last year. It is incredibly volatile. Integrating this many new companies, especially international ones from Israel, is difficult and expensive. There's integration risk, cultural risk, and execution risk. The company is still burning cash to fund this growth, and it has used stock to make these acquisitions, which can dilute existing shareholders. A government shutdown or budget gridlock in Washington could delay the very defense contracts they're chasing. This is not a safe, set-it-and-forget-it holding like Apple stock or even a volatile but established name like Tesla stock. This is a high-stakes bet on an emerging defense tech conglomerate. People looking at SoFi Invest or Schwab Intelligent Portfolios are likely looking for a different risk profile. This is for the active investor managing their own individual brokerage account on a platform like the Fidelity mobile app or the Interactive Brokers trading platform, who understands the potential downside. The short interest is actually very low, under 3% of the float, so Friday's move was not a short squeeze. This was real buying. This was a fundamental re-rating. We're talking about a company that is building a system of systems for an age of autonomous warfare and security. They just launched Ondas Capital, a new entity intended to deploy $150 million to accelerate the deployment of these autonomous systems. They aren't just building tech, they're building the financial and logistical framework to get it to market. So as we head into this pivotal earnings week, I want you to think about this. Comment below with your 12-month price target for ONDS. Do you think these acquisitions and the Palantir partnership can push it to new all-time highs above $12? Or is this massive run-up just setting the stage for a sell the news event on Thursday? So, to summarize, Ondas Holdings closed at $5.81, but that price is just the tip of the iceberg. Friday's 106 million share trading day signals that the market is finally catching on. The widespread expectation was that Ondas was just another small speculative drone company burning cash. The reality is that management has spent the last month aggressively acquiring combat-proven, best-in-class technology to build a comprehensive AI-powered autonomous systems portfolio, covering everything from ground robotics to